Hey everybody, Jam Creates here, doing another Last Man Standing video. This time we're talking about this week's new episode. Pardon my tablet making all kinds of noise. This week's episode, Season 7, Episode 6. It's the episode where it was just on Friday. It was another funny episode. You can see here Kyle and Mandy think that they know how to parent better than Ryan and Kristen, and so they try to take over and they babysit Boyd while Ryan and Kristen go away for a weekend. And of course, Boyd outsmarts the two of them, which, let's be honest, is not very difficult to do. And he gets them to do all his homework. I really enjoyed when they were like, when he said, "That's brilliant," and Mandy's like, "Oh yeah, we get that a lot." And at one point when Kyle was like, he's saying he was bad at math and nobody thinks he's stupid. But the real point of this episode, it was good, it was a nice subplot, but the real point of the episode was yes, they discovered, of course, that Manny and Kyle, he actually tricked them into doing his homework for him, which God knows what the answers were like on that one. I can only imagine. But the real plot here was Vanessa's mother coming to visit. And season 7, it's the first time we're finally getting to meet Vanessa's mom. Which is cool because, it's like one of those things that it never really came up, but you kind of wonder. I mean, the whole Baxter family is all very close, and we've met her sister. We met one of her sisters, April. They did mention a different sister once before. They never mentioned her again, so who knows if they're ever going to do anything with that. But we've met her sister, April, of course, who's always looking to borrow money from the Baxters. But yes, we met Vanessa's mom, and Vanessa is very... she's worried about her mother being very critical of her, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. And she needed someone to act as a buffer, and as Mike's put it, a mother buffer, which I thought was really funny. And then as the show went on, she couldn't use Mike because he was busy, and so she wound up getting Ed to act as the mother buffer. And it turns out Ed and Vanessa's mom kind of had a little sparks flying and kind of interested in one another, and then Vanessa's mad because her mother's spending all the time with Ed instead of with her, and she's like, "That mother buffer stole my mother," which I thought was pretty funny. It was nice to see that her mother is just like everyone else on the show. They all have their quirks and their things that they do, but they seem relatable. They seem like normal people. They're not like outrageous caricatures, really. I mean, obviously, Mandy and Kyle are incredibly dumb, and that's part of their charm. But I really like the way the characters are portrayed on the show, and Ed wound up eventually breaking up with Vanessa's mom because I don't know, it was kind of like, is he doing it to help Vanessa out, or is he doing it because he actually is interested in her? And then he said he did it because she's not exactly the type of woman that he usually dates, because as they got out of him, the women he usually dates are much younger. They're only interested in him for his money, and he's only interested in them because they're young women, which was pretty funny to hear. And Ed's such a great character. There was a great moment on the show where Vanessa is running from the restaurant up to Ed's office and then back down to the restaurant. And each time she runs by, she goes past Chuck. And Chuck's like trying to say hi to her, and she just runs right by him. And he just has a whole conversation with himself. And then finally at the end, she goes by one more time. And he's just like, "Nah, it's good. We already talked." Like he had a whole conversation with himself. Chuck is great. Jonathan Adams, the actor who plays Chuck, is so fantastic in that role. He really does a great job, and that's one of the things with this show is everyone really, they just embody their characters so well. And I know some people have been given a hard time to the recasting of Mandy with Molly McCook, but honestly, I feel like she's really growing into the role and making it her own. you know, listen, it's tough. Molly Ephraim was the character for 6 seasons, and now suddenly poor Molly McCook has to come in and try and make that do that character without being, just a copycat, and she's got to make it her own. And I think she's doing a good job. I'm definitely enjoying her. I mean, it's different when you see her still, but she does a good job. Her and Kyle together are pretty funny. I mean, their little Dance Dance Revolution thing that they did together, they've definitely got chemistry between the two of them. Her and Kyle, they play off each other really well. So all in all, I thought this was a good episode. It was nice to finally meet Vanessa's mom, and I'd like to see her come back. Actually, I would love to see if there was more to it. If she actually, at the end of the episode, Ed coming back and bringing the flowers, and saying, pointing to Vanessa and saying, I've admired that apple for years. To finally, I forget how he said, like, imagine what it was like to finally meet the tree, which was pretty funny. It's a very Ed thing to say. And so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's going to be something there in the future. I don't know. Maybe she'll be in more episodes. They said she's from Connecticut. That's, I guess, their explanation for why we haven't seen her before, is because she's from so far away. But who knows? Maybe she'll be in more episodes. I thought she did a really good job. I thought she was definitely believable as being Vanessa's mom. And who knows? I like the idea of her and Ed having a relationship, although I don't know if that's something they'd really want to get into. I mean, eventually that'd be kind of funny, because that would make Ed, if they got married or something, that would make Ed Mike's father-in-law, which would be kind of funny, I think. And it indirectly, and I'm sure Kyle would pick this up, it would kind of make him Kyle's grandfather-in-law in a way, which is not really a thing, but Kyle would make it a thing. So anyway, that's my take on this week's episode. It was definitely an enjoyable episode. I also, I should call out while we're looking at this, Jet Jurgensmeyer, who plays, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, who was also a recasting. He was recast as Boyd. They made Boyd a little older now. He does a great job. He's definitely a good actor, and he's doing a really good job portraying this newer, older Boyd. And it's really funny to see Ryan and Kristen in a much more real parental role, which they have been in this season, for sure. Now with an older son, they need to be more in a more parental, even more of a parental role than they were before. It's pretty cool to see, and I think the kid's doing a good job. I think he's doing a really good job as Boyd, and I definitely believe him as Boyd, and I think he's doing a good job. I like what they've done with it. And so that's my take on this week's episode. Season 7, episode 6, was was definitely an enjoyable episode. And I like that they continue to do this. The show continues to be quality. The numbers, you want to talk about ratings, the numbers continue to be fantastic for the show. I can only imagine that ABC continues to kick themselves for canceling the show when it's doing huge numbers and has brought Fox back into the fold. It's only a matter of time, I think, before they announce another season. There was an article going around online that said it was already renewed, but then I never saw anything else to corroborate that story. So I never did a video about it or anything, because I'm not really sure if it's true or not. Maybe I'll do a video about that at some point. But yeah, that's it. That's my take on this week's episode. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, follow my channel. I'm going to continue to do these Last Man Standing videos because I love the show. It's one of my favorite shows. So if you like these kind of videos, let me know. Say something in the comments. Hit me up. Tell me what you liked about this episode. What was, what did you think was the funniest part of the episode, or the most touching part of the episode, or whatever. How do you feel about Jet Jurgensmeyer as the new Boyd? How do you feel about Molly McCook as the new Mandy? Let me know. Hit me up. What do you think? You think Ed and Vanessa's mom should get together? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at jam_creates. Check out some of my other videos. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out.